Highway 50 snakes through the High Sierras, connecting Sacramento, California with Lake Tahoe, Nevada. In the spring of 1994, this remote mountain setting became the backdrop for an ominous mystery and a wondrous miracle. On June 6th, a young single mother named Christine Skubish and her 3-year-old son Nick were driving Highway 50, headed for Carson City, Nevada. But somewhere along a 75-mile stretch of road, Christine and Nick vanished without a trace.
A couple days went by and the family called the sheriff's department to report her missing and felt something had gone wrong. And it was at that point that we began to start a missing persons investigation on both her and her son Nick.
Let's do a little singing.
Okay, all right.
5 days after Christine and Nick disappeared, Deborah Hoyt and her husband were also driving Highway 50. It was late and the Hoyts were singing to help stay awake. Then Deborah caught a glimpse of a startling sight.
I saw a naked lady laying on the side of the road. Her face was towards me. On her side, her knees were slightly bent, and she had one arm underneath her head and one arm on her head.
The Hoyts were dumbfounded. They feared it might be an obscene practical joke or even some kind of trap to hijack their car. They stopped at the nearest phone booth to call the police. Within minutes, 2 cruisers were at the site where Deborah had seen the woman's body. But without a landmark to pinpoint the exact location, the authorities found nothing. It wasn't until sunrise that anyone began to suspect that the sighting might have something to do with the disappearance of Christine and Nick Skubish. At the urging of Christine's family, Deputy Strasser decided to investigate further.
I thought maybe it'd be worth taking another look in the daylight. Knowing working at night with spotlights and flashlights, it's difficult to see a broad area, and I could use the sunlight to my advantage.
Deborah Hoyt had pinpointed a particularly dangerous stretch of Highway 50 known as Bullion Bend.
As I was driving in the area, I saw a little black child's tennis shoe. Where I saw it, the road dropped off quite a steep embankment, and I couldn't see over the shoulder at that point. So I parked my patrol car and began walking back on the shoulder.
At the bottom of a ravine lay the twisted remains of Christine Skubish's car.
I checked Christine Skubish, and it was apparent that she was deceased. On the other side of the car, in the passenger seat, I saw Nick Skubish laying in a fetal position. I thought that he was dead. And when I reached to check for his pulse, initially thinking I'm going to find, he's deceased, I won't find any pulse, he'll have rigor mortis set in. When I touched him, it appeared to me that he took a breath.
Nicky! Nick! Just lay still, buddy. Central 11, Edward. I've got one still alive. Go ahead and start me a medic code 3, please. I need an ETA.
At that point, I realized that he'd been down there for about 5 days by himself, so it was kind of a scary thing.
For Nick Skubish, it must have been absolutely terrifying. Police now believe that sometime after 2 a.m. on June 6th, Christine Skubish fell asleep at the wheel. The car came to rest at the bottom of a steep incline. There it sat, its roof sheared off, for 5 days. Perhaps thousands of motorists passed by the scene of the crash, unaware of the drama unfolding just out of view. Christine Skubish had been killed instantly. 3-year-old Nick found himself all alone, with no way out and no one to talk to.
As far as what he did those 5 days, he probably stayed there. He talked to his mommy. I mean, his mommy was all he had. He talked to his mommy. She didn't talk back, and then he went into unconsciousness. I don't feel that he ever knew fear. He had his mom. He didn't know I'm sure in his little mind, he didn't know his mommy was dead. His mommy was there with him. As long as his mommy was there, he was okay.
Against all odds, Nick Skubish had survived 5 days of blistering heat and 4 nights of cold, dark solitude.
The doctors down there that I spoke with said that when they received him, based on his condition, they estimated he probably had about an hour to an hour and a half left to live.
The strange circumstances that saved Nick's life defy explanation. If Deborah Hoyt hadn't seen the naked woman, Nick would never have survived. Is it possible that Christine Skubish herself managed to crawl to the side of the road before dying? The evidence points to a more powerful force at work.
Christine was seatbelted, fully clothed, probably killed on impact in that accident, so there was no way that that was her physical body on the side of the road.
I know I saw a naked woman on the side of the road, up on the mountain, and I know it was Christine, or her angel, her spirit, so that it would save Nicky. She stayed around for that.
I believe that, yeah, Christine had something to do, a hand in saving her child. People say that it's her spirit, it's her angel, it's, who knows?
I feel that Chrissy's love for Nicky was so great that her spirit wouldn't let go of him. It is a miracle that Nicky is walking, talking, breathing, eating. I mean, you know, it was a miracle of God that Nicky is what he is today and whatever he's going to be in the future.
We may never know exactly why Nick Skubish was saved or how. What truly matters is that he is still alive. Tangible proof, perhaps, that the bond between a mother and child can transcend every obstacle, even death itself.